So deal. So this is my hopper prototype. The reason it's shaped the way it is because I want the center of mass to be far forward, because one of my design goals is that when it hops, it spins around and falls back down, upside down, where the next design goal comes in. It flips upside down and lands in water, and floats like a boat. Now obviously I am BSing here because this can't float. So there are a lot of problems with my first prototype. You can see that there are parts lying here on the table, not attached to the prototype. That is because I could not figure out how to make this work. So in order to make this float, I thought, okay, just put a balloon on it, like so. So it actually does float like this. If you put this upside down in water, it will float. It's not like 100% balanced, so it might kind of wobble a little, but regardless, it will float. The problem was, okay, once we've done that, how do we get these guys on there? Because these pieces are supposed to be here, actually, like that, and there's no way to get those there where they're supposed to be, because I didn't think about it enough. The balloon is supposed to go around these. It's supposed to be sandwiched between these two layers, if that makes sense. It's supposed to be sandwiched between this leg and this leg, or whatever they're called, sides. So I couldn't figure out how to make that work. It ended up being a painful mess. So in the future, to solve that problem, I'm going to not use this kind of leg. I'm going to have to figure out how I can make pieces such that the balloon can be put on the way I just show you. And then the next pair of legs presses onto that. So in that way, the balloon will be sandwiched between these two layers instead of these two. So it'll be below instead of above. So I'm going to have to completely redesign that. Another major problem with this prototype, it doesn't actually hop. I can set it up, and you will see what happens. It has a friction hold. These two black things, that's rubber tubing, and it provides friction against these legs so that when you set it up, see, that's all it does. It just kind of flips over. The problem with that, I think, is that the legs aren't long enough. These two legs here, they're not long enough. If you look at it straight on, you can see that the legs are just barely dipping below the bottom of this hopper. And that's why it's not getting enough friction with the table. It's not providing enough force against the table. If they're longer legs, they will come in contact with the table sooner and for a longer period of time. And so that is the fix for that. As far as weight goes, my hopper, these pieces all together, it's like exactly 50 grams. So that will once again be my goal for the next prototype. I want it to be pretty much 50 grams. I don't see any need to be any heavier than that. Another thing that I want to change is the way I have these rubber tubing, the way I have the rubber tubing put into the legs is not very secure. In fact, the way it is that when the legs are in resting position, like right now, the tubing is slowly being pulled out because of the position it's in. You can see that kind of. And so that needs to change. I will probably fix that by having a hole going through the leg instead of a slit. And then you pull the rubber tubing through the hole. And in addition to that, I think there should be more tension in the rubber tubing. So the rubber tubing should be shorter than it is now. And that will make it stretch farther, and there will be more force. One last thing that's extremely important actually is when this is set up, I'm missing out on an opportunity here. This could be such that the tension was going, ideally this should be set up such that the tension is going through the center plane of the leg, and that would mean that when it was cocked, when it was set up, all the tension would be going through the center of the leg, and then it would not require nearly as much friction to keep the legs in place when it's set up. So I could have I could have a lot more stretch in the rubber tubing and still not have to provide a whole lot of friction force to prevent the legs from snapping down. So my trigger mechanism will work better that way. I guess now it's time for a slow-mo video of my hopper not hopping.